It's David Ducker coming back at you, and today I'm going to be pitching a campaign I am seeking players for, a campaign that I want to stream onto my channel. And this campaign will be The Fifth Element. No, not the terrible Bruce Willis movie. This will be a campaign devoted to high fantasy, but a consistent and believable fantasy world, despite having some magic, some hints of the fantastical. This will be an alien world. It will be a chance to go into a realm bereft of humanity. We are going to have the four races based on Paracelsus, based on the classical elements. So we will have the Sylph, imbued with the power of the air, who live on the floating sky islands, who are the merchants trading between the other races. We will have the gnomes, who live in the rocky canyons, who build their cities into the living rock itself, who have skin like stone and grow crystals for hair, and who indeed devour metals and gemstone as their sustenance. They are most dour and taciturn, most lawful, and war against one another in the name of their gods, for they are most religious, full of religion. We will have the nymphs of the water, of the swamp, who are hunter-gatherers, who live in small tribes, each man having his dugout canoe, or woman, of course, responsible for their own sustenance, and yet with this great sense of community. Not an enforced patriarchal community, but one of mutual support and understanding that happens in small communities, in tribes. They, of course, worship the nature spirits, and they realize they are but one spirit among many. And the last race, the salamanders, dwelling in the deep desert, the sandy barrens at the center of this continent. We'll have the desert ringed by the canyon lands, ringed by the swamp, ringed by a vast freshwater ocean. Because again, this is not our world. There's no need for salt water in this world. And those salamanders in that desert are masters of magic and illusion. They consume flame as their sustenance, and water is poisonous to them. These are beings who can control all elements to some degree, for they have the most ambition and the most intelligence of all the races. So between the salamanders of the sandy desert, the gnomes of the rocky canyon lands, the nymphs of the swamps, and the sylphs on the sky islands who trade between all the other races, we have this great milieu of different areas, different people to visit. And they're each, of course, detailed in much greater amount than what I can give you in this 5-minute video. And indeed, I've done separate videos for each race, and I'll probably redo them shortly as I've been prepping and revising these ideas. And another thing that separates this world is the animal life. Because just as there are no regular men, all men are imbued, or women, are imbued with one of the four elements, so too is every animal. So you have a bison made out of stone. You have scorpions who can cast forth flames. You can have a crocodile that can shoot a jet of water out of its mouth. We are going high fantasy style. We're taking inspiration from Avatar, The Last Airbender. We're taking inspiration from Pokemon. Let's get some Mons in this setting to have this elemental setting. And of course, what will be our guiding force to take us through this Tolkien style, to bring all races together, will be the appearance of a fifth race and a fifth element never before seen, something that menaces us as it is a mysterious threat Is this new race friendly? Are they hostile? Our heroes have been brought together from every race to find out. And that will be you. Now, I'm strongly considering using Pathfinder for this rule set. I know many of you have just groaned. You're thinking about turning off the video. But of course, Savage Worlds can also support this. BRP may be able to support this. So all hope is not lost. And my players, of course, in our session 0 will be able to set up what works best for everyone. I'm really split because this is something that might actually work with Pathfinder. That might get more players, but Pathfinder players tend to be a little challenging, whichever word you want, whereas Savage Worlds be easier to use and probably have stronger players. Probably, maybe, possibly. So let me know, what do you think of this idea of a world alien to ours, of a world of magic, of the elements? And let me know, even if you don't want to join, if you did want to join, what character would you play? Would you be a gnome priest or a gnome hoplite? Would you be a salamander wizard or salamander a desert walker? Would you be a nymph shaman, a nymph hunter? Would you be a sylph merchant or a sylph entertainer or diplomat? Would you break convention? Would you be young or old? Let me know in the comments below. And until I see you again, good day and good gaming.